Welcome to Hope Academy. My name is Mr. O, and today I'm going to be going over the practice exam 2 or practice questions 2 that's provided on the ACT website. That being stated, I'm going over specifically numbers 7 through 9. So if you want to look at the prior questions, feel free to watch the prior videos on the channel. But that being stated, I usually do these questions real quick, and then I go over them in depth as to how I was able to solve the question so quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for number 7. A, B, C, D, F, E, okay. P, A, C, P. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay. And then giant dimension. Okay. So this was the length of AD. AD. Okay. 6 to 12. This was okay. Hmm. 6 to 12. Okay, so it's basically 1 to 2 equals to x over 20. So x equals 10. Okay, so this whole length is 10, 6, 4, 2. Okay, so for the number 7, my final answer is going to be D. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to the answer so quickly. So for number 7, when I got a little bit caught up in the beginning about the details they were providing, the important thing they were just trying to tell you in the end is that these two triangles are similar. So you'll notice that there's a triangle that looks sort of like this, and this one's your FDE. There's a smaller triangle, and then you have to also notice that there's actually a bigger triangle, and this one we'll just call it ABC or BAC as it's labeled here. And so the important concept, as I mentioned before, is called similar triangles for this concept. Similar triangles basically means that the side lengths are going to be proportionate to each other. And so this part, they mentioned 6 and 12, they mentioned 20, and let's call this X. And so what happened was that after I got this triangle, or I visualized this triangle, we have to solve for X. It's not going to be my final answer by any means, but the purpose is that it's going to help me get closer to the answer for what AD will be. And so that's what I exactly did. I did 6 over 12 equals to X over 20. But the important thing about this piece of information is that, well, I could simplify the 6 over 12 to 1 over 2 equals to X over 20, and it lets me know this whole length is 10. So this whole portion right here is 10, and this middle portion right here is 6. That means that the leftover portions, BF and AD, will add up to 4. Because if I have 6 out of the 10 total length, that means 4 is left over. But based on the description, I sort of got an idea was that they're sort of very proportionate and that these are equal lengths and whatever not. And so that means that if BF is 2, that means AD also has to be 2 because 2 plus 2 is 4. That's how for number 7, I got my final answer to D. And that concludes my explanation for number 7. To continue on to number 8, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the other paper so we can continue this. Okay, so which of the following is a factor of this? Okay. Okay, x plus 1 minus 5. Okay. So 2x minus 5. Okay, so for number 8, my final answer is going to be H. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So for number 8, the important thing you need to know on this concept is basically factoring. Okay, factoring is the key concept for this. So factoring. Okay, there's no obvious way to get around this per se shortcut wise. This is just a concept where you need practice on, and if you're very slow on factoring, I do advise to get worksheets online from websites like Kuda Software and different things like that. They'll just sort of help you, practice factoring and getting used to it. But for me, I used the old foiling method, and I knew right off, components-wise, that for 2x squared to exist, there has to be a 2x and x. And so I automatically wrote those down in the beginning. Afterwards, I needed to figure out how to get these pieces to work together so that it will create negative 3x. And thus, I realized negative 5 has to be here, positive 1 has to be here. Because the negative 5 and 1 are multiples of negative 5. And I know that this cannot be positive to 5, or else it's going to cause the middle value to be positive, because the bigger one value is than the other, then it's going to influence the symbol that exists. And thus how I ended up getting 2x minus 5, x plus 1. Feel free to use box method, diamond method, the factoring or foiling method. They all work for this question. It's just which way you're most comfortable with. And then thus how I was able to get to the answer of H. And that concludes my explanation for number 8. And to continue on to the last question for today. So for number 9. Number 9 states this. Second term. Okay. Okay. So it's this. Okay. I'm going to use a calculator for this. Okay. 3. There's a multiple of 3 behind it. So it's a multiple of 3. It'll be 12. Okay. So for number 9, my final answer is C. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to the answer so quickly. So the concept here is very clearly stated as geometric series. And it's stated in the question, but I'm just going to emphasize it that this concept is called the geometric series. And how geometric series works is that it's as if I'm adding a bunch of numbers together, but each of these numbers are multiples of each other. So what I mean by that is, for example, if I do like 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, I know right off that the multiples between each of these numbers are going to be times 2 each time, even though I am adding them up. And so for me, when I saw this question or saw the values provided, which is 1/4, x, and then 1 over 36, 1 over 108, I knew that I needed to find out the multiple between 36 and 108. And thus why on the calculator, I did 108 divided by 36, which is 3. So I know that based on the fractional values, it's going to be a multiple of 1/3 each time. And thus why I did 1/4 times 1/3 technically. So I did 1/4 times 1/3, and I got 1/12, and that has to be my x value, which is going to be C. Just to confirm and making sure that I did it correctly, I thought 1/12 times 1/3, and it's going to be 136. So it confirms that my answer will be correct for this question. And that concludes my explanation for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, so that we can continue to make content like this. I hope you have a wonderful day.